What the heck is going on? Like I'm just like keep it. I'm just like genuinely and honestly. I'm just asking the question. What the heck is going on? I know these are allegations, but it's like, yo, what the heck is going on? This came out yesterday. Or not. Yeah. Yesterday, February 28th. I didn't even see this story. This is being reported by the Christian Post. Once again, these are all allegations. Former youth pastor claims TD Jakes tried to kiss him too. Is this Youngblood's brother? Okay, this is what we just heard about. This is So this is the whole affidavit of witnesses that he had, and then Youngblood's brother came out and said that he tried to kiss him too. A man who claims he worked as a youth pastor for TD Jakes in the 90s has accused the megachurch leader of trying to kiss him. The accusation was lodged a week after Jakes formally denied separate allegations he sexually assaulted former pastor Dwayne Youngblood when he was a teenager and his older brother, Pastor Richard Edwin Youngblood. Whoa, this is separate? Oh, this is a completely new allegation. So I thought that this was Dwayne's brother, and I thought this was just a separate article. This is a new allegation. So it says the new claim from 57-year-old Timothy Anderson of Manatee County, Florida, is part of a legal response filed on February 21st by Dwayne Youngblood's attorney. But this is all tied into the same. This is all tied into the same response from Dwayne Youngblood's attorney. Tyrone A. Blackburn, in support of a motion to dismiss a defamation lawsuit filed by Jakes, the founder of the 80,000 member Potter House Church. Dustin Poosh, a lawyer for Jakes, has already dismissed Anderson's claims, telling the Dallas Morning News that Anderson is an unreliable ally of the Youngbloods who are trying to destroy Jakes' reputation. Mr. Jakes filed a lawsuit against disgraced former minister and convicted child predator Dwayne Youngblood and other conspirators in response to Mr. Youngblood's calculated misinformation campaign aimed at destroying Mr. Jakes' reputation, extracting millions from Mr. Jakes, and launching a new career for himself. That's what we just heard about. In a desperate attempt to avoid accountability for his knowingly false accusations and to distract from his reprehensible conduct, Mr. Youngblood has enlisted felons, family members, and other completely unreliable allies to lob yet more false accusations at Mr. Jakes. In a sworn affidavit, Anderson recalled that while staying at a hotel, is this the same thing we just read? The cuddling stuff? In a sworn affidavit, Anderson recalled that while staying at a hotel during a conference hosted by Jakes in 96, he shared a room with Youngblood, whom he knew through the Higher Ground Always Abounding organization, where he had served as a youth evangelist for about 3 years to 4 years. He claims that he had just been asked by Jakes to relocate to Dallas to serve as his youth pastor and shared that request with Youngblood. During the conference, he claims Dwayne Youngblood warned him to be careful about unwanted advances from Jakes after sharing what he and his brother had allegedly experienced. In the affidavit, Anderson disclosed his own history of finding faith after his dysfunctional life as a foster child forced him into the streets and the ills it had to offer, like drugs and other crimes. The church became my home, and people there became my family. I found strength in the support of my pastor, Bishop Sherman Watkins, who had stood by me from the beginning, and in the wisdom and other leaders who helped guide me along the way, he said. His testimony would soon lead him into leadership, and he became a licensed and ordained elder at Higher Ground Always Abounding Assemblies. He said in ministry, he began to experience surprising sexual advances from ministry leaders as he worked as a young evangelist. He said the opportunity to work for Jakes had felt like the opportunity of a lifetime. So when the megachurch leader offered him $24,000 to serve as his youth pastor in Dallas, which was a third of what he was making as an evangelist, he believed the sacrifice would be worth it. The filing alleges Jakes promised that in addition to the $24K salary, he would be able to supplement his income by taking on assignments outside of his youth pastor duties. Soon after he began working with Jakes, Anderson claims he began having uncomfortable encounters with the megachurch leaders. I arrived in Dallas, eager to work alongside Bishop Jakes. Once again, these are all allegations. I arrived in Dallas, eager to work alongside Bishop Jakes and excited about the future. However, my first encounter with him in his new mansion, when I was tasked with assembling furniture, set the tone for a new kind of discomfort. While I had hoped to discuss ministry with him, to learn from him as a mentor, something unexpected happened. At one point, he went into his bathroom, and when he returned, passed by me naked. Anderson alleges in the affidavit. I was stunned. I turned away. Trying to downplay the situation in my mind, this was Bishop Jakes. After all, this opportunity was a dream come true, or at least that's what I kept telling myself. I didn't want to make things awkward. I didn't want to be seen as homophobic or judgmental. I told myself that I couldn't let a single uncomfortable moment ruin this chance to learn from one of the greatest preachers of my generation. Can I just give you my opinion? And once again, these are allegations. These are simply allegations. But can I give you my opinion? That don't sound legit. That don't sound like a real story. It could be, maybe it is, it could be, but that don't seem like a real story. If you were asking me simply to give you my opinion, just based on what I just read, because that don't make no sense. He went to the bathroom. You're putting together some IKEA furniture, allegedly. He goes to the bathroom, and then he comes out completely naked. Out of nowhere? And your immediate response is to just keep doing what you're doing because you don't want to come across as being homophobic or judgmental? Brother, you just came out of the bathroom naked. Forget all that homophobic, judgmental stuff. I'm finna go home. You know, like, what are we doing here? I don't understand this. Once again, these are allegations. These are allegations. Over time, according to Anderson, more uncomfortable situations would happen until Jakes tried to kiss him. Anderson recalled being offered an opportunity to preach in Japan, but Jakes allegedly told him he couldn't go because it would interfere with his duties at the Potter's house. I'm just thinking, like, bro, and once again, this is just my opinion. These are all allegations. This is just my opinion. These are all allegations. This is just my opinion. These are all allegations. I'm just thinking, from TD Jakes' standpoint, wouldn't you think it would be something that you would be more low key about? And I'm not condoning the potential behavior, but I'm just saying, like, I don't understand that. It said Anderson recalled being offered an opportunity to preach in Japan, but Jakes allegedly told him he couldn't go because it would interfere with his duties at the Potter's house. He said when he reminded Jakes of the agreement they had, that he would be able to supplement his income with other preaching assignments. Jakes made it clear that he needed to choose between working as his youth pastor or going back to being an evangelist. Anderson said he was so overwhelmed by the choice Jakes gave him, I began to cry. I knew from my past experiences that had caused so much pain, that this wasn't just a decision about ministry or a job. It was about power, control, and manipulation. The more I thought about it, the more I broke down emotionally, he recalled. I'm not going to give my opinion anymore. I'm just going to read because I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. I don't want to sit here and diminish somebody if this actually happened. I don't want to sit here and defend somebody if this actually happened. So let me just sit here and read this. I paced his office, trying to make sense of everything, trying to breathe through the overwhelming sadness. As I walked back and forth, trying to process what happened, Bishop Jakes stood up, grabbed a box of tissues, and walked towards me. His words were cold, calculated. It sounded like, you have a decision to make. And then, in a move that left me paralyzed with confusion, he grabbed me and tried to kiss me, Anderson alleged. Anderson alleged. My mind was racing. Emotionally distraught, I pushed him away and tried to regain some control over my emotions. Anderson said he continued to cry, hoping Jakes would show him compassion, but it never came. The tissues were placed in front of me like a symbol of brokenness, and I told him how much I loved him, how difficult... What? The tissues were placed in front of me like a symbol of my brokenness, and I told him how much I loved him, how difficult this decision was for me. I was trying to hold on to whatever shred of dignity I had left, but his response was chilling. He reminded me again that it was his ministry, his leadership, and if he gave me what I wanted, my chance to go to Japan, then I wouldn't understand the principle of authority, Anderson said. 2 weeks later, Anderson explained, I made the difficult decision to return to evangelism. In a filing earlier this month, Jakes declared under penalty of perjury that the claims made against him by the Youngblood brothers and multiple John Does are malicious lies. In another motion to dismiss Jakes' lawsuit, okay, we already read that part about the hotel room. It goes on to say, like many others, I once believed that I was following a man of God who had integrity, a spiritual leader who could guide me in ministry. I was willing to uproot my life, my family, and dedicate my time and effort to serving in his ministry. Youngblood said, what I discovered was not the man I thought I was following. Instead, I came to realize that Jakes was at best... Okay, I'm not going to read that. These are allegations, and I'm not going to read that because these are allegations. This is just a very strange conversation and a strange story that's going on right now. Okay, so that's where that story is at. I don't have anything else to say. Like, I don't even know what to say. I don't honestly don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I would just caution people to not jump to immediate conclusions based on whatever biases you may have towards said individual. That's all I would say at this point in time, because I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, that's pretty wild stuff. Allegedly.